Hello friends, hope all of you are preparing very well for civil services exam. So as every week, this week also Insights intends to present before you some perspectives on the essay topic Indecisiveness is the rival of progression. So before I get into the nitty-gritties of it, so let me introduce myself. Myself Balaji DK 2015 batch IAS and the author of book A Practical Approach to Ethics, Integrity and Aptitude for Civil Services Examination. Okay friends, so before we get into the topic, before we explain as to the ways in which you can address this topic, indecisiveness is the rival of progression, I feel it is better we first understand how to approach a philosophical essay, maybe for a brief period, and then we shift to the exact essay. Okay friends, so now before we get into the topic, so let us understand what an essay is. See, why UPSC has prescribed this paper? Because essay is one paper where your thought process can get reflected in the paper, in the form of writing. So normally UPSC is picking those aspirants who think very logically, who think very coherently, and who have the ability to understand and analyze an issue from various dimensions. That is why this essay is being asked. And in order to fetch above average marks in essay, I think we need to focus on some 4 or 5 things. See, this first thing is coherence, and I know it is a oft repeated word. Everybody who comes to give some gyan on essay would say essay has to be coherent. Then what does this coherent mean? See, coherence means ensuring that there is link between para 1 and para 2. There is link between issue 1 and issue 2. So thus, your essay should be such a free flow. The moment a person starts reading your essay from para 1, automatically he should keep reading himself without feeling that something is missing. He started talking about topic A in para 1 and again he has switched into topic B, and the topic A and topic B are not at all related. That feeling the evaluator should never get. So that is what we mean coherence. And what is this multidimensional? An essay has to be presented from various dimensions. I mean, normally all of you would have been told essay has to be written from a social perspective, economic perspective, political perspective, technological perspective, psychological perspective, spiritual perspective, whatnot, scientific perspective. So, but these two coherence and multidimensional things, though they are being suggested and advised in every lecture on essay, yet hardly a few would know how to translate this coherence and multidimensional aspect of essay into paper. That is what is the real challenge. So that's why I always say, see this third point, friends. See, basically, what is this essay? See, essay is basically composed of, it's always made up of components and subcomponents. That means an aspirant who intends to get high marks in essay would initially have to conceptualize an essay as being made of components and various components. And those components should be linked by a linker. Those linkers are nothing but conjunctions. So, and what are these components? As I explain you the actual essay topic, I would tell you how to make components for an essay and how to link those components using linkers. So if you are able to conceptualize an essay as being made of various components, and if you develop the skill to link the component 1 to component 2, I presume most of your work is done. So friends, this is why I am telling you the first and foremost thing whenever you want to write an essay or whenever you are thinking, the first thing that you have to do is you have to divide that essay into various components, and again if the components can be divided into subcomponents. So at the end of this essay, indecisiveness is the rival of progression, I would tell you, how to conceptualize an essay as being made of components and components as being made of subcomponents. Perhaps the same formula which you can apply to any topic for that matter. Then your essay automatically becomes coherent, your essay automatically becomes multidimensional. So otherwise, your essay will be very clumsy, the ideas would not have get presented in a very systematic manner, and that would lead to examiner awarding you below average marks. Okay friends, in a nutshell I would say every essay has to be conceptualized as being made of components, and you have to link those components using linkers, which are nothing but conjunctions. Okay friends, let us now go to the actual topic. Okay friends, what is this topic? This is indecisiveness is the rival of progression. That means indecisiveness is the rival of progression is a essay topic. The moment you see this topic, you feel that sounds to be too philosophical, too abstract. How do I present it in a coherent fashion? This question strikes most of our minds. It's quite natural. Writing a philosophical essay, writing an abstract essay, and converting that into a coherent one is the real challenge, friends. As I told you in the previously, this essay also first I need to conceptualize as being made of various components. Okay, now let us see what are the components that you can think of for this essay. The components being, friends, the first component is introduction, which is nothing but you have to tell the meaning of indecisiveness first. Of course, friends, you can be smart enough and you can start this essay with being a very interesting anecdote, interesting hypothetical story for that matter. In fact, for this, the moment I saw this topic, actually the one idea that struck my mind was Galileo actually, and even Socrates. See, Galileo discovered heliocentric theory. All of us know that. So Galileo discovered it, and that was against the conventions that were prevalent at that point of time. But Galileo took one decision, the decision to make his discovery public. Okay, this was once he took that decision, he knew that he would have to face the wrath of church, he would have to face the wrath of the entire society. But later, the society also took a decision to punish him. There are two decisions involved here. Decision 1, Galileo's decision to publicize his discovery. The decision 2, decision of society to punish him. Okay, there are two decisions, and the first decision of Galileo, friends, let us think. Galileo could have become indecisive at that point of time. Why to take panga with this society? Let me not publicize this. Had he been indecisive at that time, perhaps our understanding of the solar system would have gotten delayed, and it would have delayed the entire scientific advancement that is based on that one premise. Thus, not being indecisive at that time, Galileo facilitated the progression. Okay, that is decision 1. Not being indecisive, Galileo led to progression. Let us take the decision 2. Decision 2 is the decision of the society to punish Galileo. Perhaps had society not punished Galileo that day, perhaps had the society been indecisive, not taking any such decision, then I think we would have had Galileo doing so many other discoveries, and perhaps our progression, scientific progression, could have been even faster. Thus, there are two decisions. In the first decision of Galileo, not being indecisive is correct. But in the second decision of society, being indecisive is correct. So, you can very well narrate this story rather than telling the thought that I told you. You can very well say these are the two decisions. So, and let us examine when will being indecisive beneficial, when will being indecisive not beneficial, something like that you can say, and then you can start your essay. That is one way of starting any essay and capturing the attention of examiner. Then friends, so then first component is meaning of indecisiveness. Friends, what is being indecisive? Being indecisive is not taking decision. What is taking decisions? Taking decision is choosing a particular course of action. Simple. Indecisiveness is I have courses of action lying before me, but still I do not choose any course of action. That is indecisiveness. And then next comes to the second key word of the essay is progression. Then what is progression, friends? In simple words, progression means it is journey from today to a better tomorrow. Tomorrow can be better, tomorrow can be worse. But a journey from today to better tomorrow is progression, while journey from today to a worse tomorrow is regression, friends. So thus, this is how for in one para you can explain about the meaning of indecisiveness, in the another para you can explain about the meaning of progression, and then it is very important to establish the relationship between indecisiveness and progression in another para. So thus this is component 1, this is component 2, and this is component 3. How do you establish this relationship between indecisiveness and progression, friends? The progression means movement. Movement means it happens only with decisions. If we have to see a better tomorrow, then definitely we have to do something today. Doing something means choosing a particular course of action. So thus you have to explicitly establish the relationship between indecisiveness and progression. So these are the three components, and now let us go to the fourth component, friends. Okay, now let us come. This is a very important component. Indecisiveness curtailing progression. That means I have to explain how indecisiveness lead to lack of progression. And again, this is a very huge topic. Again, I can divide the topic into subcomponents. Again, okay, indecisiveness can lead to lack of progression at individual level. It can lead to lack of progression at organizational level. It can lead to lack of progression at national level. So thus, this is actually component 4, friends. The component 4 has these many subcomponents. This is subcomponent number 1, subcomponent number 2, and subcomponent number 3. And every subcomponent you can make thematic. Again I have said subcomponent can again be made into sub-subcomponent also. Okay, let us not get into that much minute details. So now let us say at individual level, how would indecisiveness scuttle progression? First is, let us take at the relationships level, friends. That may be a relationship between brother and sister, relationship between friends, relationship between a husband and wife. At every level, you have to take decisions at times. Suppose a person is in relationship with another person. He wants to get married to a particular person, and the family opposes. For his better future, he has to weigh between why the family is opposing, and also he has to see what if he has to take the circumstances into account, and finally he has to decide whether to go against the family or whether to go with the family, go along with the family. That one decision can only make his life better tomorrow. So thus at the level of relationships also, but rather than taking any decision, if you keep quiet, it will just lead to waste of time and nothing will come out. Thus, for a better tomorrow, you need to, at the individual level, you need to take decisions. Let us take next example, personality development. So what does that mean? Especially it is listening to one's own inner calling. So many times, and this is more true with regard to career advancements, friends. So many times a person who really wants to become a painter may be forced into engineering by the family, by the society. Friends, please recollect Farhan from the movie Three Idiots. So, actually, you can very well give this example also. Farhan's heart lied in wildlife photography, yet he was forced into engineering. His decision to turn down the offer and then take up wildlife photography was the beginning of progression, was the beginning of his personality development actually. Similarly, another example is Captain Gopinath. Captain Gopinath came back, I mean, after his stint in the army. Captain Gopinath actually wanted to set up an airways. Coming from a rural area with no financial support, despite so many hardships, he decided to set up a airways where even a common man can fly. That decision led to opening up of skies to common man, friends. So, thus it more than anything it fulfilled his he listened to his inner calling and he responded to it. The decision to listening to inner calling is what led to progression. Then again, greater social good. Sometimes at individual level we have to take decisions for a greater good. See, Jonas Salk, who invented polio vaccine, decided not to patent the vaccine because he wanted to help the entire society. He wanted to help the entire humanity get rid of polio. His decision to his decision not to patent the vaccine led to greater social good. So that led to progression. At individual level, these are some of the pointers. And now let us come to the organizational levels. See, first one is every organization wants to grow, wants to expand. Growth and expansion means what? Getting into more production, getting into or acquiring more factories, etc., etc. Everything depends on decision. Assume that a company has made a profit of say 100 crores this year. The company has the company can just not make any decision and keep quiet. Then that will not lead to any growth, that will not lead to any development, that will not lead to any expansion. But rather on the flip side, the company can decide to set up another new plant using 100 crore and increase or expand its production so that it can earn more in the following year. It can give more returns to the shareholders in the following year. It can give more employment in the following year. That decision of the company, the decision of the company to grow, the decision of the company to expand is what leads to development, friends. So we know how Tata Steel went on acquiring steel plants across the world in order to develop, in order to progress. Next, foraying into new avenues. Friends, Nokia is a classic example. Nokia started as a paper mill in Finland. So then at one point of time, the Nokia, the head, board of directors or CEOs or whoever, they were very decisive and they took right decisions at the right time. They forayed into the new avenues. Nokia from paper mills went to electronics. They went to tire business, rubber business, and finally their journey is now into mobile phones also. All of us know this. So the foraying into the new avenues was everything is dependent upon, is everything hinging upon the decision of one top executive of Nokia at that point of time. Nokia could very well have kept quiet, could have been indecisive, saying that, boss, I am doing paper mill business, so let me be happy with it. But Nokia did not choose to do that. They were decisive. They decided to try with electronics, they decided to try with rubber business, they decided to try with mobile phones, and finally the Nokia became the behemoth that it is today. So thus the progression of Nokia is solely because of the attitude of the Nokia management not to become indecisive. Next, let us come to the third important aspect, business investments, friends. Time value of money. We in finance, in economics, we study something called time value of friends. A time value of money, friends. What is this time value of money? It is very simple. Rupee today is more valuable than rupee tomorrow. So if I have some 100 rupees today, I have to take a decision and invest it today itself. If I don't take decision, and if I become indecisive today, then if I keep that money with me, then the money will never grow. The time value of money keeps depleting, friends. So thus, It is very important. Thus, being decisive leads to increase in the value of money also. Then, friends, let us come to the national level. See, choosing the right economic system. For example, friends, soon after independence, India chose a mixed economy very soon. That being indecisive, at that time being decisive, led to the establishment of so many public sector units in the country. That led to some employment, some production, some development, say for the next say 2, 3, 4 decades. But later in 1991, again the government had to take a decision. The government decided to switch to open economy. They formulated something called new economic policy, and all of us are aware of it. Because of that, actually, India's GDP started growing. India started marching from being an underdeveloped country to a developing country. So the whatever economic development that has been achieved in India in the last 2 decades can be solely attributed to the decision of the decision makers at that time to open up the economy. So thus at the national level, at that time had our heads of the states become indecisive and did not take this decision, perhaps India would have regressed into more underdevelopment in the past 2 decades. But that one decision led to the development, friends. Then again, banning unhealthy social practices. A firm decision on the part of William Bentinck to ban sati led to the eradication of that one unhealthy social practice. Thus, William Bentinck could have been indecisive. He could have said, "Boss, it is none of my business. Let me not take any decision because I will get lot of opposition from people. People will raise slogans against me, etc. Let me not take decision." Had he become indecisive at that day, perhaps sati would have continued for a few more years, and sati would have succumbed so many young women into the death. So, thus taking decisions is important. Then again, this is a very classic example: apathy of educated citizens to vote, friends. See, the democracy depends upon voting. But now, so many people, so many citizens are indecisive as to who to vote, so they don't go to vote. Because of not going to vote, we see lower voter percentage. Because of that, we may not get the proper government only. So thus, had every citizen of India been decisive and every citizen decides to go and cast his vote, then perhaps we would get a better government. So thus, apathy of educated citizens to vote reflects indecisiveness. That indecisiveness leads to regression. But if on the flip side, if every voter decides to vote, then they become decisive. That decisiveness leads to progression, friends. Okay, friends. See, now the main component actually. So the fourth component is over. The fifth component is, hitherto we discussed how indecisiveness leads to regression. Now, sometimes, friends, it's interesting to note indecisiveness supports progression also at times. The tendency of an aspirant, the moment they see this topic, is they will only get carried away by this topic and they only say that yes, indecisiveness is the rival of progression. They don't try to think out of the box. But if you think only indecisiveness, if you just justify the statement stating that indecisiveness is the rival of progression, and if you keep writing the same thing, then your essay becomes unidimensional. It does not become multidimensional. So, in order to make it multidimensional, you have to counter that argument also. You have to counter the topic itself. The topic is that indecisiveness is the rival of progression. What is its counter? What is its converse? Indecisiveness supports progression also at times. How? Let us see, friends. See, indecisiveness versus regressive decision. What is indecisiveness, friends? Not taking any decision. But what is regressive decision? Regressive decision is taking a decision that would lead to a worse tomorrow rather than a better tomorrow. For example, the loss of Taliban, friends, where Taliban banned all girls above 10 years age from going into the schools. They took that decision. That decision led to regression, not progression. Perhaps had Taliban been indecisive at that time, like, okay, I'll not take any decision, I'll just keep quiet. perhaps more girls would have got educated in that country. That one decision is worse than not taking any decision. Next, again, indecisiveness is better than taking a selfish decision, friends. For example, let us take the example of let us take a hypothetical story. A country is researching on bioweapons. The country wants to develop a very powerful virus, and the country wants to release it to other countries so that the bio war gets waged and the rival countries will stumble down. But friends, this is a selfish decision of one particular country to realize its selfish gains, rather than the decision of creating bioweapons is definitely worse than not deciding on anything, just keeping quiet. Similarly, indecisiveness versus chauvinistic decisions. Some countries take chauvinistic decisions to express their superiority over other countries. The entire war, the world wars are because of this only. The decision of America to bomb Hiroshima and Nagasaki is definitely worse than America being indecisive at that point of time. Had America been indecisive at that point of time, perhaps these two cities would not have got bombed. Even today, the citizens of those cities still reaping the negative impact of that bombing. We are all aware of that. Thus, America's decision to bomb Hiroshima and Nagasaki is definitely not at all warranted. It's definitely worse than America could have been indecisive. Assume that America was indecisive and at that time America was not able to take any decision. It just kept quiet. Perhaps that would have done a lot of good to the humanity, no? So thus, indecisiveness is definitely better than a regressive decision. It is definitely better than a selfish decision. It is definitely better than a chauvinistic decision. Thus, friends, this is the fifth component, and the last component is conclusion. Friends, now we have argued how taking decisions would catalyze progression at individual level, at organizational level, at national level. At the same time, we have also analyzed how taking a regressive decision, how taking a selfish decision, how taking a chauvinistic decision lead to worse outcomes rather than better outcomes. So keeping these two things in mind, you can draw a conclusion. At least what conclusion I have drawn is indecisiveness is definitely better than taking a negative decision. However, indecisiveness is worse than taking a positive decision, friends. Okay, let me rephrase it. Taking positive decisions is better than being indecisive. Being indecisive is better than taking a negative decision. So thus you can very well conclude that indecisiveness is not always rival to progression. However, being indecisive while there is a scope to take a positive decision, that scuttles progression. This is how you can conclude. And again, whatever I told you, Galileo story at the beginning, the Galileo story, same thing you can draw and you can put it in the conclusion only. Initially I told you, so there were two decisions involved. Decision one was Galileo's decision to publicize his truth, to publicize his discovery. That is a positive one. Galileo could not have afforded to become indecisive at that point of time. But however, had society been indecisive at that time, not punishing Galileo, not taking any decision on Galileo's discovery, perhaps Galileo would have made more discovery today. So, these two decisions, the logic behind those two decisions can be brought into conclusion and you can conclude, friends. So this is how a philosophical essay can also be conceptualized as being made of various components and you can and subcomponents. Thus, your essay becomes very, very, very meaningful, friends. Now I have told you how I mean, this essay can be conceptualized as being made of various components. But again, it is also important to link one component to another component. How do you link that? Okay, let me take now the fifth component, friends. Fifth component is indecisiveness supporting progression. What was the fourth component? Fourth component was indecisiveness scuttling progression. How do you link these two? Because at the end of all the points supporting the argument that indecisiveness scuttles the progression, again you can very well write that hitherto it has been argued that indecisiveness scuttles progression. However, it may not always be true. There are some cases where being indecisive is better, and that also indirectly supports progression. Let us analyze. If you write these 3-4 lines, no, those 3-4 lines will link component 5 to component 4, friends. So thus again I'll also give you one more example. Indecisiveness versus regressive decision, you write everything. Also again you have to write about indecisiveness and selfish decision. How do you link it? While starting the argument of how selfish decision is worse than being indecisive, you can very well write so alongside regressive decisions, selfish decisions also are worse than being indecisive. So that alongside regressive decision, those 3-4 words which you use to start with the para, then that itself will act as a linker, and that will link this component and this component. I mean, again, that's how you need to use the linkers. That's how you should use the words like firstly, secondly, thirdly, apart from, besides, as against above, on contrary, in contrast to the above. These words you can use very smartly and ensure that your essay becomes a coherent one, friends. So this is all from my end, friends. I have attempted my best to place before you as to how to approach a philosophical essay. So, and before I sign off, friends, before I sign off, I have a personal request, friends. As you are very well aware, and I am the author of the book Ethics, Integrity and Aptitude, and unfortunately this book has become pirated, friends. And okay, piracy is one part, and unfortunately those who have pirated the book, the print quality is very low, binding is very poor, and those people who are ordering the books on Amazon and they are getting pirated copies, and they are ending, the aspirants are expressing a lot of displeasure. But the original book, the print quality, binding quality, everything is exceptional, friends. So my request would be, please buy original book, and that original books can be bought from the seller affordable on Amazon and the seller Arvind Books on Flipkart, friends. Thank you, friends. Thank you. Hope the session was useful. So wishing you all the best, and wishing to see most of you as my junior colleagues. Thank you, friends. Thank you, one and all.